Hello, Martin Benedict here for ChessPuzzle.net. Today I wanted to show you why the puzzles on ChessPuzzle.net are better than on other sites which offer chess puzzles. So here's an example from another site. Um, it's a pawn endgame, white to play and win. So the solution is h4, king b6, d5, takes. And now the puzzle is over. So that's a bit confusing. We didn't checkmate, we didn't win material, but we've somehow won the puzzle. So, okay, if you look a bit deeper, then it's clear that white's king is more active and will get to the opponent's pawns first, but it's actually not that trivial. And if you want to learn pawn endgames, the puzzle surely shouldn't stop here. So why does the puzzle stop here on that other website? Well, the reason is that the other websites don't support multiple variations. Basically, their definition of a chess puzzle is just a series of forced moves, only moves. So if there's more than one good move, the puzzle stops. And like in this example, that can be a bit confusing. So now let's have a look at a pawn endgame puzzle on chesspuzzle.net. Here is the pawn endgame, and the solution move is b4. So the idea is that this black king is too far away from these pawns, and we can build a passed pawn on the queen side. So we had to start with b4 because otherwise black would be able to play a5. So, but now there are two options to quickly build a passed pawn. We can play a4 or we can play b5. And okay, let's try a4. So that works fine. Black has to waste tempo with the g pawn before he can move with the king to the queen side. Now we have to play b5 and a5. And now again there are two options. We could start with b6 or with a6. So let's start with b6. Black captures the pawn. Now we shouldn't capture, we have to play a6. So the black king is not in the square. Okay, so that's a proper pawn endgame puzzle with multiple variations and a proper end condition. So the end condition here is we have promoted to a queen and we are material up and we are clearly winning. So let's have a look at the solution. So on the solution page you can see all of these variations. So as you can see, b4 is the only move at the start. So at the start there's always only one move, but already on the second move you can play b5 or a4. And then, as I said here, at this moment we can start with a6 or we can start with b6. And even here at the end, you can see we could also have promoted to a rook. That would also be clearly winning, and that would also be allowed. Now let's have a look at another example, which can be a bit confusing on other websites. So here's this example. So black just played h6, attacking the bishop on g5, which is pinning the knight. And we can take advantage of the pin and play knight d5 with tempo. But now somehow the opponent captures this knight and we can win the queen. Okay, great, we won the queen and the puzzle. But again, this is a bit confusing. Why did the opponent actually sacrifice the queen? Was that really necessary? Well, if you analyze the position more closely, you see that if the queen would, for example, have gone to d8, then we would have been able to shatter the pawn structure here because black would have been forced to recapture on f6 with the pawn, and that would lead to a huge attack and eventually winning. But Okay, this is a bit mysterious if you are trying to learn this motive, right? So the reason why such move happens on other websites is because they always take the first move from the engine as a reply move. And okay, this engine can look much deeper than any human can. And okay, it sees all the complications and comes to the conclusion that sacrificing the queen is actually the best option. But that's not a good reply move if you want to learn these motives and you want to learn to attack after shattering the pawn structure. Now let's have a look at a similar example from chesspuzzle.net where we don't take the first move from the engine, but we actually analyze the position a bit deeper and select a move that we think is the most challenging for the human solver. So here's a similar situation. We don't have a pin here, but the knight and the queen are attacking h2, and we can also play knight d4 here with tempo, and white moves the queen away from the attack, and we can now capture this knight with check and checkmate on h2. So now this for a human is easily understandable, but let's have a look at the solution. And here after knight d4, actually the best move that the engine recommends is of course not walking into this checkmate trap, but taking this knight. And we don't select this reply move because some solver would not understand why white is sacrificing the queen. Okay, there are many more examples like this, and I hope this clearly shows why the puzzles on chesspuzzle.net are better than on other websites. Thank you.